What's up BTS? It's your host Michaela and I'm here to break down the top 10 celebrities who were forced to cancel their tours. At number 10 we have Kesha's High Road Tour, which was originally scheduled to start on April 23rd in the state of Texas and end on June 5th in Windsor, Ontario, but had to be postponed due to the global pandemic. Following the cancellation, Kesha stated the news, quote, "I'm so sad to announce that I am unable to move forward with rescheduling my 2020 High Road Tour due to health and safety concerns. This is heartbreaking, but the safety of my fans and crew is my #1 priority. Because of the current situation, doing this tour in 2020 is no longer feasible. But that doesn't mean we can't celebrate and express ourselves together in spirit and online. I will do my best to bring you all as much art and music as I can as we get through all of this together." Kesha's tour was slated to feature special guest Big Freedia in support of Kesha's then new album High Road. After she found out she was unable to perform, she pushed to have her shows be moved to be determined dates in 2021. Fans who had purchased tickets had the opportunity to seek refunds accordingly, and despite social distancing laws, Kesha was still actively performing and keeping up musically, as she even performed on The Tonight Show singing Resentment, a Home Alone inspired melody mixed with a recording of a commencement speech for graduates of 2020. At number 9 we have Selena Gomez's 2016 Revival Tour. In August of that year, Selena revealed that she was struggling with ongoing medical complications amid her tour. The result ended up being her canceling the latter half of her show dates, as well as taking a year off from music. Selena informed fans through a People-made statement that her health issues from her lupus diagnosis a year prior had resulted in, quote, "anxiety, panic attacks, and depression." She detailed wanting to remain proactive and focus on her mental health and well-being. Selena stated that the best way to do this was to take time off moving forward, and she proceeded to thank her fans for never leaving her side. She expressed, "Thank you for your support. You know how special you are to me, but I need to face this head on to ensure I am doing everything possible to be my best. I know I'm not alone by sharing this. I'm hoping others will be encouraged to address their own issues." At number 8 we have Justin Bieber's cancellation of his 2017 Purpose World Tour. His fandom believers were crushed when they discovered JB's announcement of removing the then remaining dates of his tour off the list. His spokesperson released a vague statement on the artist's behalf, which explained how grateful and honored the Canadian pop star was to share that experience with cast and crew over 150 successful shows across 6 continents. Another month in, Justin opened up to reveal his true reasoning for canceling, which was his mental health. He wrote on Instagram, quote, "I let my broken relationships dictate the way I acted towards people and the way I treated them. I let bitterness, jealousy, and fear run my life. Me taking this time right now is me saying I want to be sustainable. I want my career, my mind, heart, and soul to be sustainable, so that I can be the man I want to be." Justin apologized to his fans again following the announcement that affected the 14 Asian and North American dates, which were set to take place over 3 months. He issued one final apology to TMZ, where he detailed looking forward to getting some much needed rest. At number 7 we have Taylor Swift's official cancellation of her Loverfest tour due to the unprecedented pandemic. Taylor took to social media on Friday to share the news of her tour and how it was unreschedulable. The world tour was originally meant to begin in August 2020 but had its first postponing due to the coronavirus pandemic. Taylor mentioned how she understood that this action had fans holding on to hope and their former tickets, as she was also optimistic that they could reschedule. Rewinding to May 2020, Taylor attempted to satisfy fans with a special one-night-only pre-recorded City of Love concert from September 2019 aired on ABC, where she played some of the songs from her then new album titled Lover. At number 6 we have Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman World Tour. I'm sure we all remember the unfortunate May 2017 related explosion which took place in the latter half of her concert, and Ariana had to call off all subsequent tour dates through June due to the 22 deaths and hundreds of other injuries sustained. The Manchester Arena show saw Ariana devastated by the events which took place, and she discussed her emotions over Twitter after the tragic event. Quote, "Broken. From the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry. I don't have words." Reports quickly arose speculating Ariana would be suspending or canceling the tour, with both live London shows from that week included. Ariana later confirmed this, and her manager Scooter Braun released a statement through The Hollywood Reporter. It reads, "Due to the tragic events in Manchester, the Dangerous Woman Tour with Ariana Grande has been suspended until we can further assess the situation and pay our proper respects to those lost. We ask at this time that we all continue to support the city of Manchester and all those families affected by this senseless act of violence." Scooter also posted a string of tweets on May 25th as a tribute to the victims in wake of the mass violence, claiming he intended to honor those who lost their lives. Many other artists also respectfully postponed their live shows in light of the Manchester attack as well. Ariana resumed her tour on June 7th, mere days after her One Love Manchester benefit concert was held successfully at the Old Cricket Ground. At number 5, we have Harry Styles and his Love on tour dates being pushed from 2020 to 2021, as well as his move of the European leg of the tour as COVID-19 continued to spread across the globe. The former One Direction star was awaiting his 26-date tour in England starting April 15th. The tour would feature stops in Germany, Italy, and France as well, but Harry gravely shared over social media the new plans of cancellation. He told both Instagram and Twitter fans that the tour needed to be rescheduled and urged fans to self-isolate and treat people with kindness during their hard times. Harry was only one of the many high-profile musicians to cancel his live shows as the world population was suddenly taken over by the escalating pandemic. At the time, the World Health Organization reported that there were more than 16,000 deaths globally recorded. At number 4, we have the iconic Jonas Brothers and what would be their then last tour in 2013. The Jonas Brothers live tour, which was their 9th and final 19-date North American set, was announced to be cancelled in October, a few days before it was all ready to go. The group, as well as the spokesperson for them, cited the split to be from creative differences as well as a deep rift within the band. This was confirmed via a published report by People magazine that their rep told ABC News. They also added that where the sound was headed played a huge part in things. The Jonas Brothers are made up of 3 musical siblings, eldest Kevin Jonas, middle child Joe Jonas, and youngest of their band, Nick Jonas. The reported argument over differences was merely a preview of what was next to come because the rep eventually informed that the band's future at the time had, quote, remained to be seen. At number 3, we have Billie Eilish's When We All Fall Asleep Where Do We Go tour. This alt-pop star first postponed her shows and then officially cancelled her sets shortly after. She announced that fans could receive refunds for their tickets in light of the news. The 6-month-length tour was originally scheduled to be held at a later date after holding 3 separate shows in March due to the pandemic, but eventually it saw its end. On Twitter, Billie attempted to smooth things over by addressing the issue. However, following this, she was everything but quiet. Billie began collaborations with her brother Phineas to perform multiple live streams, including one that was an essentially adapted version of her tour set. At number 2, we have the Weeknd's after-hour tour dates that were booked for locations such as US, Europe, and Canada starting June 2020. The Toronto pop star was scheduled to begin his massive tour in Canada with 2 nights in Vancouver on January 14th and 15th. Following this, he had appearances in Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto, and Montreal before he was set to cross the border. However, the vocalist announced his change of plans to move his tour to stadiums and reschedule the entire set for the following summer for something bigger. The Weeknd assured fans all tickets would be automatically refunded and previous holders would be given priority to buy for the stadium shows when they go on sale. This tour specifically had already been postponed twice due to large gatherings not adhering to the COVID-19 laws at the time. The Weeknd uploaded a promotional image for the revamped tour which featured new stops in South America, Asia, Australia, Africa, and the Middle East next to the original charted shows meant to run. Still, his unfortunate shuffling of dates stirred mixed reactions from fans who expressed frustrations with the singer for canceling the already postponed shows and forcing them to go through the ticket buying process all over again. Since then, The Weeknd has had to reschedule another show, this time more recently this year for his Toronto concert at the Rogers Centre due to a service outage province-wide. Fans were again highly disappointed by this and expressed their concerns via social media as the rundown came late and many were already waiting in line for the show when the last-minute decision was announced. At number 1, we have K-pop sensation BTS. No puns intended here, of course, but their fandom, collectively labeled as ARMYs, were utterly devastated to find out that BTS had to postpone their upcoming Map of the Soul tour with no new dates on record still. The full shows were originally meant to start up on April 11th in Seoul, South Korea, and then move into 18 countries throughout 39 shows. They plan to stop in North America, Europe, and Asia for the tour. The MOS tour was set to start on April 25th, but by the 28th, BTS's agency Hive/Big Hit Entertainment regretfully released their COVID-19 policies postponing statement. Their tour, named after their featured album, was meant to support the body of work and honor fans' long-awaited wishes from their Map of the Soul 7 February 2020 drop. In light of the ongoing pandemic at the time, BTS began issuing ticketed online concerts in hopes of satisfying fans until they could meet again in person. And while the cancellation was terrible news for BTS fans, they were able to bond over the new plans BTS had in store for them. Their Japanese hits compilation album titled BTS The Best had released in physical copies on August 6th. This album came out to number 5 on the Billboard's 200 album chart with a stunning 17,000 units sold. It also topped the World Albums chart. Their most recent Korean/full K-pop studio album B topped Billboard's 200 after its November release. The group has maintained 5 chart toppers on the album in total so far, and will continue to break tons more records soon, I'm sure. That concludes today's BTS. Again, I've been your host Michaela, and I'll see you all again real soon.